Welcome back to Half Moon's Picks. Week 4 of the NFL is here. Week 3 is behind us, and boy was I red hot last week. I went 9-1 on my hot picks, and overall 12-4 on every game against the spread. Let me tell you how well I did. I came in 8th in that contest pick overall out of 100 people, and there's a couple spots that are open if anybody's interested in joining. You can check out my week 1 video and get the username and password on that. I went 12-4 overall on all the ATS picks. The only teams I lost on was Washington, Baltimore, Las Vegas by hook, and Seattle. So those are the only 4 games I lost. I am currently in 24th place with 198 points. So I'm back on the top 25%. And number 1, we got Crash at 256 points. Back at top again, leading the leaderboard. And the week winner is Let's Take the Moon's Money. I think that's Gio's pick. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm almost positive that's Gio. He scored 120 points last week in week 3, so he's the weekly winner. Just win one more, you might win that $100 prize. And the yearly ATS winner so far, again, is still Uncle Jay. He's 32-15, climbing up those ranks. He's doing pretty good for himself. I'm sure he'll be in the top 10 the way he's going. Just on a quick rant, passing team. You cannot kill the clock. Detroit, for many years with Matt Stafford, always a passing team, not a running team. Could never kill the clock. They get in a big lead, and then the defense already knows what you gotta do. Pass. You can't run, and even if you try to run, you get stuffed. So yeah, teams like the Raiders, Seahawks, Kansas City, they'll hold this lead. They can't run. They're known to pass. Defense stuff you 3 and out by, and then the other teams come back. Giants held the lead on every game they were in, and they lost the lead and lost the game. Raiders, huge lead, couldn't kill that clock. Miami came back, and luckily the Raiders won in overtime, but didn't cover that 3.5 points. They should have easily, but didn't, because they cannot kill that clock. Kansas City's another story. We'll get to them. 0-3 teams. There's 5 of them: the Lions, the Giants, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville, and the Jets. 2 of them I don't like, 3 of them I do. So let's get on with the picks. And with the Thursday night game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are a 7.5 point home favorite. Basically, first-year coaches on Thursday Night Football do horribly. And worse enough, Jacksonville is already 0-3. And Jacksonville, on top of being 0-3, is 0-18 overall. If they lose any more games, they're going to break some records. Jacksonville has 2 special teams touchdowns in the last 2 weeks and still couldn't cover the spread. Cincinnati just off beating in Pittsburgh. First time they did that in 2015. And the defense only allowed 18 points per game. So I know 7.5 points with Cincinnati's asking a lot, but they're at home and they're feeling pretty good against a Jacksonville team. Nothing's looking good. So give me that Cincinnati Bengals minus 7.5 points. Next, we got the Washington football team versus the Atlanta Falcons. This game's a coin flip, and I'll tell you exactly what draw me to pick. It's basically a pick 'em. They got Atlanta right now at plus 1.5 points. Washington back-to-back road games. Both teams horribly on defense. Both of them barely scraped by and beat the Giants. The reason I like Washington to win, they're due up as the Atlanta is due down. So Washington lost last week, they're due for a win, and Atlanta won last week and they're due for a loss. Only reason I picked Washington. So good luck. Next, we got the Houston Texans at the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are 17-point home favorites. Buffalo outscored in the last 2 weeks their opponents 78-21. Unbelievable. Houston on a long week. Again, 17 points. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the Houston Texans plus the 17 points no rhyme or reason. Buffalo's been killing it, but 17 points is just too much for me. So give me Houston plus 17 points. Next, we got the beloved Detroit Lions at the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are a 3-point home favorite. Last week, Detroit lost 17-19 against, you already heard, the Tucker field goal, 66 yards. It almost mimicked the loss against the other longest field goal, 63 yards back in 1970 against the New Orleans Saints with Tom Dempsey. Tom Dempsey, RIP, last year died of COVID, but it was just, and then the only other record between that spot was a 64-yard field goal with Matt Prater, and then Matt Prater, eventually went to Detroit. So the last 3 field goal records had something to do with Detroit. And then 2 of them were the same exact score to beat Detroit. Unbelievable. And Detroit gets the worst calls, of course. Obviously, about that delay of game, which never was called. I think they were reading a book or something. The referees, I don't get it. I think in this game here, Justin Fields, he only had 68 yards passing last week against the Browns. He had 9 sacks. Unbelievable. It's just, I think the NFL will give it justice and let the game go towards Detroit, because that's the way it works. And don't you ever notice that? They had a bad bum call one game, and then the next game they just played a flawless game. Detroit's getting better and better every week. I think they can roll into Chicago and actually win the game outright. But I'll give you that Detroit plus that 3 points. Next, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are a 4-point home favorite. Man, another toss-up game. McCaffrey's out. Dallas's run game does seem a little bit better. Dallas is on a short week, as where to the Carolina Panthers are on a long week, more time to prepare. Darnold, he's completed 68% of his passes versus Dak Prescott at 66% of his passes. So Darnold's a little bit better. Plus Dallas's, secondary's not as strong as Carolina. Carolina's defense is a little bit better. I know everybody's seen Dallas roll over the Eagles last week, and most likely a public favorite. Me, I think this is going to be a closer game. Carolina has won the last 2 meetings, so give me Carolina plus that 4 points. Next, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins are a 1.5-point home favorite. Man, this is a tough game. Wentz, with both broken ankles, played okay last week. Wentz has actually lost his last 7 starts. This is game 2 of game 3 on the road for Indianapolis. Jacoby Brissett on Miami, used to play for Indianapolis, has not had a passing touchdown in the last 2 games. Man, this is going to be a crap show of a game. Indianapolis, back-to-back road games. I think, Indianapolis is due for a win. They're 0-3. I'm giving it no rhyme or reason. I'm taking the Colts to maybe finally get a win against Miami. This is gonna be, you can go either way. So I'm taking the Colts. I think Wentz is better than Jacoby. Give me the Colts. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns traveling to the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are a 1.5-point home dog. Now, this is basically a pick'em game. Single back and forth. Dalvin Cook most likely out again. He may return. I give Minnesota an edge if they do. Cleveland Browns. This is basically how I picked this game. This is pretty much, again, another toss-up game. Pick 'em. But if Cleveland Browns plan to be a playoff contending team, they have to win games like this. That's all they have to go into another field and another good team and beat them. They have to be prepared to win a game just like this. So that's why I'm picking the Cleveland. I think they are a good team. I think they are a playoff-bound team. Minnesota's playing well as well. They're playing better than I thought they would be playing. But Cleveland, I don't know. I'm just taking Cleveland. I know it's more of a public bet than anything. I'm sure all the public's all over Cleveland. So give me Cleveland over Minnesota. Next, we got the New York Giants traveling to the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints are a 7.5-point home favorite. My goodness, 7.5 points. New York Giants just lost to Atlanta by shooting themselves in the foot on Eli Manning Day. They led all 3 games and then lost them all by penalties or mistakes. That simple. New Orleans 2-1. They rank 31st in total offense. But this is their first home game. They're going to the Superdome, first time all year. I know they did it in a preseason game, but this is the first home game in their home field in the Superdome. 7.5 points is just a little bit too much for me. I know Giants don't want to go 0-4, so I'm taking the Giants plus that 7.5 points. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans traveling to the New York Jets. The New York Jets are a 7.5-point home dog. Jets 0-3, scored 20 points in the last 3 games. That's less than a touchdown per game. Zach Wilson has 6 interceptions in their last 6 games, but the Tennessee Titans are struggling on defense. They've only had 1 turnover all year. But do I think Jets are going to stop the Tennessee Titans at all on defense? No matter how bad that offense, I think, the defense is going to get some confidence this week. 7.5 points, small price to pay. I think the Jets probably the worst team in football. So give me the Tennessee Titans minus 7.5 points. Next, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are a 6.5-point home dog. Last place, Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid had to go into the hospital after the last game. He had dehydration. Reporters asked, why are you in last place? Why are you doing so bad? And he said, basically, it's a long season ahead of us. Not much confidence there on that one. But Philadelphia, a bad loss in Dallas, goes back home on a short week, and now they got to face Kansas City. Doesn't look too good for Philadelphia. So give me Kansas City on a romp over Philadelphia. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to the Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles Rams are a 6-point home favorite. Rams 3-0, Arizona 3-0. It's going to be a great game. Arizona offensive line looks a little banged up, but the defense looks stout. Defense on both teams look pretty good. Matt Stafford. Someone said they're going to be MVP this year, Matt Stafford. I kind of agree with you. I haven't seen any flaws whatsoever. Lions had a Super Bowl contending quarterback and couldn't put any kind of playoff wins whatsoever. Tells you how bad the Lions are. The Rams, won by 2 scores against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to, win it all and go 16-0. Well, the Rams beat them by 2 scores. Should have been 3 scores, but Tampa Bay scored a touchdown at the end of the game, which cost me one of my unders in my Twitter picks. Stafford is second in passing in the league, back-to-back home games, so give me the Los Angeles Rams minus 6. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers are a 3-point home favorite. This is Seattle's back-to-back road games. This is a divisional matchup. Seattle swept these 49ers twice, in both games last year. San Francisco's riddled with injuries. Seattle, I think, going to bounce back this week. So give me Seattle plus that 3 points. Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos are a 1.5-point home favorite. Broncos 3-0, very impressive this year. But the teams they played, I know you know it, combined are 0-9. Can the Broncos beat a good team? I'm going to say it's going to be tough for them. The Broncos lost some of their O-line last week. Some of the key players, wide receivers, are injured as well. Not looking good right now. I know the Baltimore Ravens did not play the greatest game against Detroit at all. You got Hollywood Brown dropping several passes. But they might have been hyped up maybe to play this game and not looked at the lines at all. Thought they were just going to get an easy sweep. So give me Baltimore to bounce back and beat Denver in Denver. Next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are a 6.5-point home favorite. Is Ben getting too old? He's looking pretty old. all three games this year has not looked good at all. The Pittsburgh defense is getting pretty bad as well. They're last place in their division. They couldn't even touch Joe Burrow. Did not even touch Joe Burrow the whole game at home last week. Joe Burrow offensive line, he got sacked the first two games 9 times. But yet, the Pittsburgh Steelers couldn't even touch him. Did not even lay a finger on him. Now they're going to go into Green Bay and tell me they're going to let Aaron Rodgers run around there, and they won't even touch him. He's going to have all day back there. Write a book, write War and Peace, whatever. This is going to be a total demolishment. So take Green Bay -6.5. Next, we got the Sunday Night Football. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the New England Patriots. New England Patriots are a 6.5-point home dog. On NBC, this game's going to be played. A lot of people are going to watch it. Tom Brady returning back to Foxborough. This game here, the New England Patriots are 0-2 at home this season. Tom Brady returns and he's going to deliver. I don't see anything that tells me the Patriots are going to have any kind of shot against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially after getting romped by the Rams. I know Tampa Bay's on back-to-back road games, but I'm sure they're going to just go in here and they got a grudge. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -6.5 points. Next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers are a 3.5-point home favorite. Monday Night Football on ESPN. This is going to be a great game. Divisional game as well. Las Vegas 3-0. And every team they beat, the team that won 10 games last year. So 10 games or more last year, Las Vegas Raiders had to play at the beginning of this season and has won all 3 games. The Chargers did well against Kansas City. Everybody might be on to that. That's probably why they're favorite. Derek Carr is the #1 passer in the league right now and has won the last 3 or 4 meetings against the Chargers. The Las Vegas Raiders are 2-0 as dogs this year. So I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders to go in to LA where there's going to be a lot of Raiders fans and beat the Chargers. So give me the Las Vegas Raiders +3.5 points. Well, that's it for week 4. Give you a rundown on who's my best bets. 6-point teasers. I got Tampa Bay -0.5 point, Tennessee -1.5, and I got Green Bay -0.5 point. The survivor pick, I got 3 of them. If you want the best pick where the most people are picking, take Tennessee. Tennessee's going to win. They're going to beat the Jets. Easy bet. Well, you might pick Tennessee later in the year. Maybe. If you want a solid pick, pick a good team, take Buffalo. But you know, I like to keep the good teams later in the season. So I'm not taking Buffalo. And I'm probably taking Tennessee. But if you want to pick a bad team, it's going to win and be a little ballsy, take Detroit. Detroit's probably the only team that's going to win this season, maybe, and beat Chicago. So if Chicago is equally as bad, I think Detroit's going to win this one. So take them if you got a lot of balls. But for me, I'm going to play a little bit safe, take Tennessee. I probably won't take them the rest of the season anyway. So give me Tennessee as my survivor. That's what I'm taking. My best bets, I'm going to give you 4 of them this week. 4 best bets. I got Detroit +3. I got Kansas City -6.5 and a romp. And give me the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday night +3.5. And I'm going to throw you a 4th team just because I like it so much. I'm taking Green Bay -6.5 as well to beat Pittsburgh. So I'll give you Detroit, Kansas City, Vegas, and a bonus pick of Green Bay. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope we have a lot of winners this week and hope you win a lot of money. And I will see you next week and see you in the contest. Peace.